Okay, guys, we're going to jump right into this. I got a lot of messages from off my Facebook page about wanting to know, new ladies, new subscribers, thank you, that wanted to know how to apply foundation and how to contour. They're beginners. So we're going to do a video on basic foundation and contour, and we're going to do just a natural fresh face look. It's what I like to call a makeup, but it doesn't look like a lot of makeup look. So let's get started. Now, first off, you'll always start with a primer. You'll wash your face. If you moisturize, and then place your foundation. Me personally, I don't moisturize because I'm an oily skin person. So if I place moisturizer on and then my foundation, it just makes me more greasy and a mess. So I just wash my face and then I apply my primer. Now, primer is something that you place on before you place any makeup, because a primer also protects your skin. You can wear a primer without wearing makeup. It protects your skin from wind and all that, pollutions and stuff like that. But when wearing it to put your makeup on, it gives your makeup, your foundation, a smooth surface, and it helps to keep your makeup intact. So a primer you can get from a high-end primer to a drugstore primer. It's just whatever your choice is, whatever works best for you. And different primers work, for dry skin, for oily skin, so forth and so on. I always work from the back of my hand, and I place some on the back of my hand, and then I just place my primer on and I just rub it in everywhere. I get it all over my face where I will be placing my makeup, even on my neck, because we will be bringing our foundation down our neck. So you get your primer on and rub it in really good. Okay, next I go into my brows. Now you can always do your routine the way, what works best for you. I just always start with my brows and then I go into my other makeup. Some people like to go ahead and apply their foundation and then they work on their eyes and brows. So whatever works for you. But I'm going to go ahead and do my brows and get them out the way. Okay, we're going to go into foundation now. So today I'm going to use the YSL foundation. Now, when applying your foundation, whatever works for you. I know some people use their fingers. If that works for you, use that. If you prefer a brush, use a brush or a beauty blender. Don't judge me. It's dirty. I put my foundation on the back of my hand, tap my brush in it. Now, I always spray my brushes because it won't soak so much of my foundation up. And then I start applying. Now, I thought I had dropped my glasses. When applying your foundation, you want to get it all over your face. And I try to be as light as I possibly can because you don't want to pull and tug on your skin. As less as possible. And you just place it all over. Now, I like to go into and stipple mine into my skin after I brush it on to pretty much just get it covered, to cover all my places. And when going on your neck, do not put your foundation on brushing down. Go upward. You never want to pull on your neck, on your skin, period. You don't want to pull on your skin downward because when you age downward. So you don't want to accelerate it. And I go all right here in the little crevice of the ears. I don't know what the technical term for that is. Now, I'm going to place a concealer, but I do place my foundation under my eyes, too. Some people don't. You don't have to. Whatever works for you. And you go around your hairline. Get close to your hairline because nothing looks more crazier than you having one shade on your face and your hairline is lighter. Brush that foundation into the edges of your hairline so that everything is seamless. That's why you take your foundation down your neck also, because when people look at you, the first thing they see is your face and your neck. So you want everything to be blended together, one color. Okay, so now I'm going to go and stipple this in. And this is what I do for me because I have open pores, so I try to fill in those pores. Go around my eyebrows. Now I have to be careful when I go around my eyebrows because I don't have eyebrows, and so I make eyebrows, so I don't want to rub them off. And if you just fill yours in or something like that, you probably, well, you still have to be careful. You don't want to take your work off. Okay, I go back into my hand because I'm a full coverage. You can stop at the amount that works best for you. And I'm going to take it on my eyes. I usually don't because I've already done my eye makeup first. But since this is a foundation and contour video, and we're going to do just a really simple eye look. Okay, now, after I finish with my brush, I like to go in with whatever's left on my hand and use my beauty blender, because when I use my beauty blender, it is smoothing and evening out all the foundation and pushing it into my skin and blending everything together to give it a more natural look. All right, so next we're going to contour. All right, I like to use Juvias Place foundation sticks to do my contour with, and I'll have I can't see what color is this. But when contouring, what you want to do, when you use a darker color to low light, you want to minimize areas. Say my forehead. So I have a big 5 head. So I want to minimize that forehead. So I'm going to take this color, the deeper color, around the edges. I want to make some definition right here in my cheekbone area. I have a gobble gobble. So I don't want that to be the first thing you see when you look at me. So I'm going to shade that out. All right. And if you wanted to contour your nose to give an appearance of a smaller nose, you would shade that. Okay, let me do a little bit more. Who am I kidding? Okay, now I'm going to just use my foundation brush and I'm going to start blending out my low light. And I'm just taking it around. You see I'm brushing upward because I don't want to be pulling down on my skin. I want to brush upward. And just right there to give like a little, I don't really have cheeks because I have fat face, but that gives me, see how that gives me an appearance of having a higher cheekbone? The contrast there with the light and the darker, that's low lighting. It's like you're shaping your face. Okay, and now I'm just going to blend this in. Now you can use a beauty blender and do this, you know, if that works best for you, it's the brush. I just prefer the brush when I'm doing it. Alrighty, so now we have placed our contour to low light. Placed our foundation, I'm sorry, we've low lighted. Now we're gonna go in and we're going to highlight. And in highlighting, you wanna use a lighter color. You wanna place this where the light naturally hits the skin, and the light naturally hits your face, your forehead, down your nose, right above your cupid's bow, on your chin, and you highlight right under your eyes. Now I'm going to go in with my concealer because I have bags and a little discoloration there, so I like to conceal more than I like to highlight, but I'm going to highlight to show you. Okay, so now we're going to blend out our highlight. That's the lighter color. Now you can go as light as you want to. You don't have to go as light as I go. You can go more of your skin tone because you just want a lighter highlight. I like, you know, I'm extra, so I like to kabam. But now I've got my brush and I've wiped off my brush, and so I'm going to use that to blend out. Now, when you're first beginning, until you get your routine down and you know how not to mix your colors and things together, use a clean beauty blender to do your low lights. That's the dark. And then use a clean beauty blender or a brush, whichever one you prefer, to do your low light. So that way you won't get them mixed in together and won't lose the color that you're going for. Now, I'm just going to use the same brush because I know how to wipe it off and do all that and so forth. Okay, so you just blend it out. It just blends out really effortlessly. Everywhere where I've placed my highlight. Now, I'm going to go in with a smaller sponge. And I'm going to do my under my eye. And you bring it down and on around. Take that on around. You can either take it on your eyes. If you're not going to really be doing a shadow, I'm not going to do too much of a shadow today. And even if I was, you can still put that on your eyes. And use it as your base before you apply your eyeshadow. But I take it on around and take it up. I'm blending out my highlight. Now, when working under your eyes, for my age, I'm going to have creasing. Because of my age, I've already got creases. And so, I mean, it's not a miracle worker. It's not going to take, all the creasing away and all that. But you want to work quickly and you want to be sure that your concealer, your highlight is blended out really well before you apply your powder. Because if you don't, you see up here like my foundation where it wrinkles up, the foundation gets in my wrinkle. Before I place powder, I'm sure to get all of that to smooth it out. So when I place my powder, everything is smooth. Because if I don't be sure to get that, to blend that out, to be sure there's no foundation in that crease. Once I put that powder on there, it sets it. So you're going to have a big crease, big wrinkle crease across your face, across your forehead, or up under your eyes. And you don't want that. And especially if you're my age, you got enough creasing so you don't need any extra help. So you want to blend out your highlight really good. And then you set it with a powder. I'm going to set under my eyes with the MAC soft yellow setting powder. And I'm going in and just making sure Everything is blended. Nothing is sitting in the creases. The foundation, the concealer is not sitting in the creases before I set my eye. And when I set my eye, you can use, you could use this. You just take your sponge, go in, dip it. I like to tap off the excess on the back of my hand and go in and set. Now I use just a little, just enough to set it. And what I mean by set is I'm setting that liquid, because whenever you place a liquid on your face, the foundation is a liquid, you want to set it with a powder. It ensures that it stays. So you would use a different beauty blender. You wouldn't use the same one. I just turn mine over and use the same one. And I'm just making sure there's no creases. Now I'm turning my beauty blender over that I have powder on, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna set that really lightly. Now, some people bake, and what that means is they put their eye setting powder on, and they put a lot of it, and they just let it sit there. I can't do that due to my age, because it really dries my eyes out and it makes it look terrible. Not good. So I'm going to get some more powder, and I just place some in the little cap right here. And I'm going to set this with this light, bright powder everywhere that I've placed my light highlight. I placed the light highlight right here on my forehead where the light naturally hits the face. And it naturally hits the face on the forehead, under the eye, and Cupid's bow, because that's what I want to highlight. Okay, so we have blended out everything and we've set under our eyes. So now we're going to set the whole face, because whenever you place a liquid, you want to set it with a powder so that it will stay. Now, remember what I said about being up under the eyes to be sure that, that you get all the creasing out. This is what I mean. You see how the foundation and concealer and everything has gotten the creases there. So before I set it with a powder, I'm going to go over it. And it's just patted through to smooth out everything, and see how that's smoothed out now, because I don't want to put the powder on top of that, because that's what it would look like, and that's not what you want. So, okay, so now I've blended out my eyes to make sure there's no creasing. Now, you can use a big powder brush and just set your face all over, which I'll show you that in a minute. But I set my face with a red sponge. I'm 53 years old. I'm old school. This is how I started out with makeup, so that's what I do. So I use talc powder to set my face first, and that's just regular baby powder. I put some on a towel on my sponge, and then I just set it all over my face. Now, this is probably not what you do, so I'm going to go over how to powder your face with your compact powder, too. But when I first started makeup, we didn't have a lot of, we didn't hardly have any. We didn't have powders that we could use for women of color and all that, so we would use baby powder to set the foundation. And we didn't have makeup schools and all that, so these were tips and tricks that you learned from drag queens. Okay, now that I've set my face, I'm gonna go in. If you don't use baby powder and all that, you would get your compact with your powder in it. Now, this is a MAC mineralized skin finish. And you would take your powder brush, which is usually a big fluffy brush, You swirl it in there and kind of push it into your skin all over. Just like I set my face with my sponge and my talc powder, this is how a lot of people set their face with the compact powder, the regular face powder. I just do mine a different way. But this is how you would do it if you like to use your face powder. You push your brush in to your powder and push it all over your face. And don't forget your neck, because you want to set that too. Okay guys, and this is everything done. We've placed our foundation and we've contoured. We've placed our low light, the dark color, and we've placed our highlight, the light colors. We place our light colors in where the light naturally hits the face, and that's the forehead, down the nose, above the cupid's bow and the chin, and right in the eye area. The low light is the darker color. If you want to place that around your forehead, you can. You don't have to, but usually it's placed around the forehead, around the cheek area, and underneath here. And that's shading. That's whatever you want to minimize. And that's it, guys. Hit like and hit subscribe, and I will holler at you.